So far, we've looked at the traditional method of creating groups in Logic that existed in Logic Pro 9 and still exists in Logic Pro 10. And we've also looked at stacks and really just folder stacks for organization. But let's take a look at summing stacks. This is really the second flavor of track stack, if you like. And in my opinion, it's probably the most useful of all of these grouping methods because it gives you the organization of the folder stack and it gives you the routing of the original traditional auxiliary bus group, if you like. So it really gives you the best of both worlds. It's created in exactly the same way. You know the drill by now. We've done it 2 or 3 times. Select your tracks using Shift, Control click, create track stack. Now we're going to see summing stack, and it's the second option. You'll see it says a multi-purpose track stack that mixes its subtracks and can be saved as a patch, which is important because you can save it and call it back later. This type can also record and play back MIDI, which I'm going to show you in the next video, or remote control recording on audio-only subtracks. Select this option to both organize and submix tracks if I can read the whole thing without stumbling over it. But basically it's saying that it's the best of both worlds. And I really don't know why you wouldn't choose this type of stack, because it gives you the folder stack. And then if you want to mix later, even if you don't plan to at that point, you can do. So there's really no harm in picking it. And it's going to look pretty much the same as a folder stack. It just doesn't close it automatically for you. If you go to the mixer, it looks very similar. The main difference being that we've got our pan control, we've got our channel strip. It gives you a compressor and channel EQ bypassed as standard, as sort of default. And also you can save the whole performance and, you know, save that as a track stack ready for use in the future. But straight away, we've got the routing that we had before, so it's automatically routed. We've got our channel here to use both in the arrange window and the mixer, so it's good to go. You know, we can quickly put on a compressor, so I'm gonna now put the compressor back on that we just removed. If we use the mix control in the compressor and, you know, we hammer some heavy compression in, we've got bus compression. Parallel bus compression, sorry. So you've got parallel drum treatment there in around about sort of 5 seconds worth of work, which is just a beautiful thing. You know, you can just route it there straight away and start treating entire groups of instruments. And it's worth noting that when you close this up, it works in exactly the same way in the mixer. You get a nice clean approach. So, you know, all your drums are closed away. And also you get your little overview if you zoom in of what's going on. So you can sort of see your drum arrangement. So you could go ahead and start making bass stacks. You can go ahead and make a new summing stack. Close it down, and then we could go ahead and make a lead stack. Obviously there's a lot of leads here. Create track stack, good, and name it leads maybe to be original in capitals. And then when we start to look at our mixer now, it's starting to get tidy. You know, we're cutting down the amount of tracks, and personally I like to go through all the way through the mixer and put all the drums together, all the pads together, and anything that's really similar, especially if it's a client's mix, because it gives me that sort of sum and group mixing that is so much easier. And then you can always break these open. You can double click on them just to open them up. And that will open them up in the mixer as well. So you can see them quickly access the mix, close the mixer down, close your group down, back to your organizational sort of clean interface. But it's not only audio that we can use these in, we can also use them for MIDI. And this is where they really shine. We can use them to trigger multiple instruments and share our MIDI across multiple instruments. And that's what I'm going to show you in the final video of this chapter about groups.